What's going on, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a huge comic book haul. And as the title of this video states, a couple of grails. So if you want to see what those are, stay tuned for the rest of the video. But before we get into that, go ahead and smash that like button, lightly tap it, whatever your preference be. But go ahead and do it because you know how it is. We get to having fun, we get to laughing and carrying on, looking at books, and the next thing you know, you got the video and you go, oh, I didn't even give this guy a thumbs up. Let me give this guy a thumbs up. So go ahead and do that. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so that you can make the conscientious decision as to whether or not to watch this video live or on the wing ride. But that gives you the option to make that choice, not YouTube putting me to the top of the list. And so today has been a huge day. I've got several packages in the mail from various people, which I'm going to shout out in a little bit. But then also, what's going on? What's your grail? Hey, I will show yours because you are here. I'm going to show you the books that I picked up that have your name on it should you choose to want them. I was able to go, I was on IG the other day and somebody said, hey, I know you're from Mississippi. Don't know how close you are to Jackson, being the capital city of Central Mississippi. I was only an hour south. The guy goes, dude, I'm only an hour south. Well, the next thing you know, we live in the same town. But he was going to be selling some books up there, and I did end up meeting him, some books from him. I got to go to a little flea market / comic book place. And it had toys and various other things, but mostly I got comic books today. I know that surprises everybody, right? But there was some really cool stuff there. And I think there's just showing the pent-up demand that people have to get out there and have a con, right? And so me and some of the other people that I've seen at multiple cons said just that. So let's dive into some books, shall we? So I got a couple of books. Some are going will be going up on the auction block, like this Ravage 2099 newsstand, and so Butimus copy. Could stand a press, but not a spine ticking sight. So if you're into newsstands, you're into flashy flash, that's a good one for you. Transformers #8. Who doesn't love some Transformers? And especially when it's the first Dinobots in comics. Now, this would be going into the PC had I not already had that one. Yeah, that might be the way to kind of skirt around it a little bit. I know various places have various things. What's going on, Ruben Guzman? Captain Comics? Harr! How's it going? But yeah, so this would be going in the PC had I not already had it. But I picked that one up today. And Mr. Comics 89, here you go, right here. Well, William Smallwood, thanks for joining. Here's the big book, Amazing Spider-Man 124. I think you might know whose first appearance that is. And don't let the board fool you. This is a really clean book. I mean, if you were going to, I'd get that slight spine roll out with a good press, but if you were going to grade it, if not, just put in a really good Mylar it out of its mind. So yeah, you know whose first appearance that is. That was on your list. Let me tell you what else was on your list. This one right here, Amazing Spider-Man 380. It was on your list of needs. 396. And then also 542. So yeah, those were all on your list, and I'll get with you later on. I know I'm going to be going back to my LCS next week on Wednesday. Well, that's the plan. And so I'm going to check out that bin again, like I told you I would, now that I got your up-to-date list. And but I'll let you know about these in the meantime. But what I was getting at, if there's something else, then we can all put them all together on shipping for you. So the other day I got on IG, and this comic shop, shout out to let's see, shout out to Urban Legend Comics in Florida. T Ravis Comics, what's going on, man? How's it going? Rob Boswell up in the house. Yard man. So this particular seller, Urban Comics, that is in Florida, had said, hey, I've got a whole bunch of Wolverines. If anybody's looking for some runs, most of them are $1 a piece. So I sent my list, similar to several people send their list to me. And so he went through the comic bins for me and found the ones that I needed that he had. And he said, well, there's any more because you got plenty of room in this box. And so after several deals, was able to find quite a bit of comics here from him alone, that many. And so they were all $1 a piece. Actually, a little less than $1 because he only charged me $10 for shipping a flat rate box, which, as you know, costs $15.05 or 10 cents. And so he went in the hole with that. What is going on, Magic and Lasso? How are you doing today? Thanks for everybody joining here. So you know I have to throw a little batting up in there somewhere. So we got Turok number 7. So I'm putting my Turok run together. See, 23. He had a few of these. 38. My X-Men, not Uncanny because I got those, but this X-Men, this is 37. This is from the 4th volume, I believe. 36, 34, 35. Then we've got Exo Manowar 33. This is from the Robert Venditti run. Really good read. If you hadn't got it, check it out on Comixology or get it in trade. 32. And then also 38. X-Men number 13, 14, 18, 28, 23, this is from a different run, 26, and then we can get to Wolverine Volume 1. We got Wolverine 104, newsstand. We got 110. 111. So I shouted out the comic shop because if any of you are looking for runs on the cheap, and you'll send him a list, he'll go through them for you and help you out and ship it out to you. 140. If you're a run collector like myself. 137. 138. Wolverine versus Galactus. Never dream would see because we know as bad as Wolverine is, and he's the best at what he does, as we well know. However, I think he's a little outclassed with Galactus. Then we got 135, 173, 158, 143, 65. And this is from Mark Teixeira. I think I pronounced his name right. He did a couple of books for Wolverine back in that volume 1 with Larry Hama writing it. So dynamic duo there. More well known, at least to me, his Ghost Rider runs. Really killer back in the early 90s. Wolverine 142. 141. 70. 101 and 105, 130, 118. Operation Zero Tolerance was a pretty good storyline too. Well, that's true. Dazzler versus Galactus. That was another one. You know, Dazzler, when she had her solo series, which I believe she was one of, if not the first X-Men to have an ongoing solo title. You know, back in that time, you had various people that were Nightcrawler, Wolverine. They had these little 4-part mini series, but Dazzler had an ongoing series. And the funny thing about Dazzler 1 is it is the first direct edition copy that was not also newsstand. So, and Marvel said, hey, we got to do some other stuff to get into some more places. Warlord, how's it going? Hopefully everybody is doing okay today. So we got 116. Got Cable 23. And 22. Wolverine 148. Little Eric Larson action on the cover there. X-Men 40. So really close to completing all the Uncanny, including annuals, and the X-Men titles. So the major X titles, so Uncanny and X-Men, I'll have all of them, including the annuals. So that's pretty close there. And we already looked at these right here. There's so many places for books on this place. All right. So there was a couple of books that I've been trying to hunt for, and I need like one or two or three to complete the run. And I just went on mycomicshop.com, which has always been good when I've ordered from them. Sometimes I order through eBay using them, and then sometimes I just go directly to their shop. And since I like to combine shipping when doing that, it's a lot easier for me anyway, even though I'm forfeiting my eBay points or eBay bucks. A lot easier just to go simply to their shop, type in what they want. I know it's all coming from the same place, and therefore I'm getting a deal on shipping. So these came in. This is Heroes for Hire number 11, guest starring Deadpool. This was a mini series after Onslaught, and always been a fan of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And so after Onslaught and the heroes were gone until they had Heroes Reborn, Heroes for Hire came back, and they were leading a team of superheroes. Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder, number 9. So I have all the rest of these. Some of them I have both the Frank Miller and the Jim Lee covers, but did not have this one to complete the set. Age of Apocalypse, I believe this is number 5, but this is a connecting cover. Then this is the one, this is Apocalypse on it, the connecting cover. This is the one I needed to complete the set of them. There's 4 or 5. Heroes for Hire number 10, again, guest starring Deadpool. Geomancer number 8, that is the only one I had left to complete that. And as you can see, it says The Last Gamble. Same here with this, X-Force number 4. This is volume 2. Rob Liefeld came back for, I think, 6 issues and finished that out. Armories number 11. This is, again, another Valiant series that I needed one to complete. So I said, well, hey, let's go ahead and get that one too. Flashpoint, what's going on? Heroes for Hire number 9. Then we've got the True Believers copy of X-Men 101. So I like to get those and put those side by side. Bloodshot's Last Stand. This is a Mike Zeck cover. I wish I had this back when I saw Mike Zeck last year. I would have got him to sign it. Probably not one that he signs very often. Usually these artists, they see the same old comics over and over and over again. Secret Wars, Web of Spider-Man, the one where he's coming up out of the grave, that type of thing. So I would have, or the Punisher, the Captain America versus Wolverine, which some of those I got him to sign, but I like to get them to sign something. Go, oh man, I ain't seen that in a while. But that's Bloodshot. That was a one-shot, pun intended, I guess. X-Men Gold number 7. I have now completed my X-Men Gold run as well. Heroes for Hire number 17. And these were only a couple of bucks a piece. And since they're out of Texas, as long as the mail people don't send it to other places like they have before, I can get them fairly quickly. X-Men Gold 22. And I had this issue, but this was certainly a cover buy, but it was only a couple bucks. And so I decided to splurge a little bit. But for those of you who are old enough to remember Atari, this is going to evoke some nostalgia. Eternal Warrior number 2. How many people remember swinging over a pit of crocodiles, right? You had to jump at the right time. Otherwise, you were going to be eaten by crocodiles. Pixelation, baby. Yes, yes, yes. So that was pretty cool. Valiant during that time did a lot of covers like that. Okay. So picked up some books from Shelby Thompson, who has been seen in a lot of different chats. What's going on, Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine? Boy, I tell you what, you know, your last name just worked out really well for you to have that cool rhyming name. Yes, Pitfall. Pitfall was awesome. Steven Spock, live long and prosper. So Shelby Thompson, a lot of times will be selling stuff, and he's out of Texas and or been buying stuff, but he's more recently joined Meta's Midnight Mafia, and he has been selling on that. Boy, Hack, what's up, man? I got a Batman book coming up that you might find interesting. It's in the PC, you know, so I can't put it in your box, but hey. So did you miss the Grail? No, you did not. Or you have not missed it yet. So yes, so Shelby had some Valiant up, and as want to do, a lot of people are like, oh, Valiant, that's not on Comic Tom's hot list. Comic Tom makes fun of Turok 1. And people can't think for themselves. And I understand it was way overprinted, but that was the 90s. Image did the same exact thing. What's going on, Tacoma Comics? How are you doing today? Did you miss the Grail? Who dat? No, you did not. One of the Grails that was planned to be had today, Mr. Hudat, decided to pick that up for himself on JB's auction earlier. I was able to get a hold of one Turtles book, but he got a hold of, I think, two. And so I know he got the Raphael, which I didn't need. I already have a copy of that, even though it was a good deal for the comic and the grade that it is in. But I did need the other one. So Exo Man War #1. This is just the dollar version of that particular comic. Rye #1, 4th printing. Little clink and crane action going on there. Then we got number 15 of that same Rye series. Shadow Man #0, little chromium goodness, little chromium, little wraparound cover. Ninjak #1, the little chromium goodness. Oh, you only got the one. Okay. Well, it was I can't think of the other guy's name, but he just dropped the hammer on that first bid, and I was like, dude, I'm out. It was TMNT #3 was the one that I wanted to add to the PC. I got that #1 4th print, but I did not get the other. So then we got Bloodshot #1. First chromium cover. Little Barry Windsor Smith action on the cover there. And then, of course, we got to have a little Turok. If we got all this other chromium love, we got to have a little Turok love. Hardcore #1. This is a fold-out cover. This is done by Jim Lee. One, if not the only, covers Valiant had back in those 90s that Jim Lee had done. Harbinger #5, another good series. This is when they rebooted everything at Valiant, and so that was a really good read. And then #8, I picked these up off of IG from a seller whose name is escaping me right now, but I have bought several things from him, and he's always done well. Hopefully I'll remember his name before I'm through. But Gambit 16. Yeah, Gambit 16, just bought it for the Rogue and Gambit cover, which I've been putting some of those together because I'm going to put up on the wall. Then we got TMNT #38. And it was funny because I got this from him, or I ordered this from another guy from Washington. It's, I'm afraid, lost in the mail right now. But then I saw it for so cheap with him. I said, man, just go ahead and throw that in there with it. So Red Hood and the Outlaws #2. That's from the New 52 run on that. Then we got TMNT #22. This is an homage, of course, to Hulk 340. Pretty cool there. Penguin or Batman 23.3. This is the lenticular cover, Jason Fabok, and this is the lenticular cover that they did back then. TMNT from the IDW series, #73. Little Kang action there. TMNT #3 micro series, the Donatello one, again from IDW. Uncanny X-Men 507. This is a variant cover that I did not have for that volume 1 collection that I have for Uncanny X-Men. So let's see. Also, today I did get to go to a flea market of sorts, but it was a bunch of collectors, comics, pops, action figures, and a lot of Hot Wheels. If people like Hot Wheels, they had a lot of them. And so I've been looking for this in the wild, hadn't found it, and then finally found it today, and that is the Gambit Pop to go with my Rogue Pop. You know, you got to have one, you got to have the other one, right? So now I've got the both of them. So glad to pick that one up. And let's see here. Let's leave this one right here. And let's leave that one right there. Suspense, I guess. And well, that depends, Magic Lasso. One of my real estate holding companies is called Park Place Properties. And so you might, if you land on Park Place, you owe me rent. Because I own that LLC. But anyway, so let's check these out. We've got X-Men #2. This is from the Marvel Legends. The Marvel Legends came with comic books. A lot of times you don't find them in the greatest of shape, but found this one and like to pick up the ones like that are the reprints of those. Got Batman 311. So really focusing on, as far as Batman goes, trying to on the 300s. I'm over halfway finished with the 300s, and then I'll move on to the 200s as much. But yeah, found this for all of $1. $1 for Batman from the 1970s. It's in pretty good shape. Then we got Moon Knight 1 of 4. CLZ lists that as volume 3, I believe. Then we got TMNT #16 from the IDW run. So that was pretty cool as late. Too Late Boys, that's my wife game, and she owns it with hotels, and she would like her rent. She never let. Oh, so this is speaking a man of experience here. Batman 1, the this is the currently going, and I have all of them up to date, but I did not have the lenticulars of this. I only had the regular ones, and so picked that up for $3. Then we got Darkhawk #1, that first annual there, that is. Batman 22, the lenticular cover, a little flashpoint action there. Got a little reverse flash, a little Thomas Wayne Batman there. Batman 245. So I said I was working on the 300. You see I bought a 245. And then a 185. So I had all the like 181, which is the first Poison Ivy, 183, which I think is the second Poison Ivy. So I had all the little 180s right there. And so I decided to go ahead and pick this up. And this one was one of the ones that I was excited about. It's not a Grail or anything, but I had the other two, and that's Willow #3. Found that in the dollar bin. So Willow #3 of the 3-part miniseries. Another Marvel Legends. This is the comic of X-Men 3. That cover right there that Jim Lee did was actually from an Uncanny, his run on Uncanny X-Men. Don't remember the number exactly. Then we've got Batman Detective Comics in the New 52. They retitled that Detective Comics to that and renumbered it. And this is number 31 of that run. And then I found a bunch of Marvel Star Wars on the cheap as well. So and these are varying grades, 5 all the way up to probably an 8.5. So nothing really super fancy, but a lot of that run. So we had number 18, and they're all newsstands. Number 30, 56, 66, 72, 73, 78, 87, 95, 96. I'm trying to remember her name. I think it starts with an L, but she had the hots for Luke. I think they had the hots for each other. She supposedly dies, but she ends up getting trained by Vader, and she has a lightsaber whip. But she is actually used in the now what's termed as not canon, but termed as Legends. She's actually used in there, and Luke ends up killing her because he believes that she killed Myra Jade. What's going on, Slim Comics? Oh, thank you. So yeah, anytime that you can get these old Marvel ones, especially their newsstand and decent condition for $1, did not have these. 97, 101, 102, 104, and 105. And I don't remember where the numbering leads off for that Marvel series, but I think 105 is one of the latter issues of that run. And then I got these are the ones that are kind of a grail of sorts, because, well, one, I haven't never seen this one in the wild. I've seen it on the Key Collector app. That's how I even knew about it, and actually had to do a double take. I said, well, let me go back there a little bit in order to get that 107. I don't have 107. I don't think. Let's see, what is 107? Yeah, I don't have 107. But it shows that 107 is the last issue. Maybe that's what. Oh, there you go. It just came through. Sorry about that. So yeah, it shows that 107 was the last issue. I do not have that one yet. But then it shows that in 2019 Marvel renumbered them and came back with like 108, several copies of 108. So that's kind of weird. Big Will, what's going on? Big Will says he has arrived. Man, you missed it. Showing all this Wolverine off. I know you're a Wolverine fan. You don't keep your Wolverines, but yeah, you are a Wolverine fan. But yeah, so these are the big books, aside from the early Batmans that I already showed off. These are the big books that I picked up today on the cheap, mind you. That's always important. So I know that this one existed, and did the double take, came back, picked it up, and that is Avengers Annual number 10. So, as you know, Avengers Annual number 10 is the first appearance of Rogue. It is probably the ugliest cover. It's way too busy and whatever. Otherwise, I would have got Chris Claremont to sign one of my copies when I saw him a couple months ago. But it's way too busy. But this is the Marvel Legends copy that was in there. So, and as you notice, it says not for resale, but you'll notice that the cover looks a lot different than what it did before. And this is a Terry Dodson cover. Terry and Rachel Dodson did this cover. And but it's the story of Avengers 10. Avengers 10. So there you go, Marvel Legends. And when I'm out there hunting in the wild, I see, there's so many comics out there. It's like Steven Spott likes reflection covers, and I'm sure he's got a bunch of them. But it's like, how can you ever know how many reflection covers are out there? Just like there's so many, right? You don't realize it. But I noticed this on the Key Collector app, and I said, man, that'd be neat to go ahead and get. So just waited, hadn't seen it in the wild till today. And like I said, almost passed it over. Probably the find of the day, it was this one right here, and that is Detective Comics number 400, a little 15-cent action there. This is the first appearance of the Man-Bat, not to be confused with the Batman, right? Man-Bat, guy turns himself into, does some kind of thing on himself, turns himself into a Man-Bat, you guessed it. And so found this. One of the first booths that we walked into had a bunch of comics just laying up there. And he said he was a comic collector. And to top it all off, he was a Batman comic collector. And I was like, oh, okay. So went through the comics. And he said prices, depends on what you how many of them you bought. And so he was the one that I bought all those Star Wars from, and picked this one up as well from him. And so he only charged me $1, people, for Detective Comics number 400, a little 15-cent goodness right here. This is probably a 5 to a 6. Good press would certainly do it well. I just noticed it looks like it's got that sub crease, but it's not breaking color or anything. So yeah, I mean, Detective 400, this is a pretty expensive book in a higher grade, obviously, but even in a lower grade, for $1, it will make you holler. So yeah. And Hoodad, I ran into some people that sell down, if I can find his card, some of them other books that I got from them from Algiers, but they don't have a shop. They just sell around. I was going to ask you if you knew them. Brick Wall. Yeah, here it is. The Brick Wall. Do you recognize them? Who dat? But yeah, so they're from Algiers, down in your neck of the woods, right? And so, thank you, Gomez. The comic collector's been in the back, and never heard of. Okay, and Magic Lasso book reminds me of Robin Meets Man Bat book and record, which reprinted part of the story. Okay, cool. Oh, and the record, yeah, those are fun. I used to have the one, the first Man Wolf. I think the first Man Wolf. I used to have it with the record with it, and of course, had a lot of the ones that had the tapes. This is probably, I don't know if you came in here early enough to notice this one right here that I found today. And Mr. Comics 89 is on the hunt for this. And so I had his list and found this one for him. So that was probably the second biggest book that I scored there. Yeah, that's what I know. And for $1, ooh, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, Big Will. No problemo. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. So who dat? You see this book right here? You a Spider-Man guy? That's the first Man Wolf, isn't it? So I think I'm correct in that. I'm not a ASM guy, but and then so yeah, I picked that what I think is the first Man Wolf, the first Man Bat, and already okay, Mr. Comics. Yep. So and then Transformers number 8. So this is the first Dinobots I showed earlier, and it would be going in the PC if I didn't already have a copy. And so it's pretty nice. Pretty nice little book. And then of course one that I like to get, might not be everybody's cup of tea. Certainly is not going to make Comic Tom's little list. But Avengers Annual number 10, the Marvel Legends reprint. So a lot of books, got to go through them all and board and bag them. And I really appreciate everybody for stopping in today, whether this is live or you catch this later on the rewind. In either case, do appreciate you. And be sure as you're leaving to smash that like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, because we are giving away a New Mutants 98, which, yes, again, I have procrastinated in offering the details of how to win that New Mutants 98 9.4 and the CGC slap and the Deadpool pump. But they will be forthcoming. But I've already told you, and I'll tell you again, that all you got to do right now, go ahead and get this out of the way, is subscribe to the channel and be 18 years or older. You do not have to live in the continental United States, or you will not have to. So you go ahead and get that stuff out of the way. That way, when I drop the video, which will be a video labeled 600 subscriber giveaway, it'll already be out of the way. Share the channel so we can get there sooner. As always, I appreciate everybody watching. And until next time, keep reading and keep